Take my hand, take my whole life too, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Swindon turned into the promised land.
It's Friday, it's 9 o'clock, and it's the last FRI of November. The festive season is upon us, and I know full well that you are tuning in because you do not want to be watching the football available on Sky Sports right now, as it is some random team 1, Ipswich 0 in the Championship. Thank you, as ever, for joining us this evening. Live chat is available wherever you are watching it from, in any corner of the globe, on whatever app. So if you're on Facebook, on YouTube or X, please get involved throughout the entire evening and let us know your thoughts on intro questions, on Swindon Town men, on Ian Holloway, on all the women's teams. We want to hear your views. And we've been in the lobby, so to speak, some of us, for a good half an hour, and the boys seem in good humour tonight. So I think this is going to be a fantastic episode. Let's kick straight off. In fact, no, before we kick off, there's a new feature being added to StreamYard, which I'm going to have a lot of fun with. They've added free-to-use sound effects. Yes. Now, that might not mean anything to you, but believe me, there's going to be multiple times where I'm going to be using, for example, intense applause. There is definitely going to be time for fast heartbeat. I get the feeling the most commonly used one is going to be gong. We also have bounce available. And finally, bongo drum roll is available as well. So I'm going to be having a lot of fun with these throughout the episode until it gets boring, probably around the time we record the Christmas specials. We have all the usual features to come tonight. As I said, please do get involved, whatever platform you are watching on. Let's say hello to our panel, and then we will come to our intro question, starting with the man who is definitely going to the game tomorrow. Good evening, young Wazza.
Evening, mate. How are we?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Tucked Theo into bed. He's very excited. Loves an away day. So, He's gone to bed dreaming of a positive result tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. And not just me definitely going. The co-pilot on the screen right now is definitely in attendance.
Yes. I will be catching the direct train from Leicester tomorrow lunchtime. I will be seeing you between Derbyshire and Sheffield. That is for sure. Twice in a week it's not often we get this opportunity. How's your week been?
Yeah. Well, we're quite lucky. The wife's out tonight. She's gone to Bongo Bingo. So, yeah, you know what I mean? I thought twice in a week. Why not?
Why not, indeed? And the big question is the tree going up this weekend?
Well, the tree's definitely going up. Yeah, I can't hold out anymore. She won't let me hold out anymore. So, yeah, the bribe was that I can go to Chesterfield Saturday, but the tree is definitely going up Sunday. So I thought that's pretty fair.
Spectacular. That's great negotiating skills, was. Great negotiating skills. Intro question to come. So you sit back, relax. So we've gone from 2 people definitely going to 1 who might be going, depending if it negotiates correctly for him. Good evening, Ben.
Evening, boys. How are we today?
Very well, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, actually. I'm good. It's been a pretty good day today. Chilled. A day off work. Freddie's had an inset day, so he's just gone to bed himself. And looking forward to a good weekend and hopefully a positive result.
Absolutely. And we don't need to ask you because your tree's been up longer than mine even. But do I spy a Christmas jumper, Ben?
Oh, you do? Oh, Noel. I thought bring out the old Christmas trumpets. The Christmas lights have just come off outside as well. And also a little bit of tinsel around a few, like the boys over there, they've got a bit of tinsel, so a bit more Christmas sneezed about. It's happening.
Beautiful,
it's happening.
Our mission tonight is to convince you to get up early enough to drive to Derbyshire tomorrow, isn't it?
I one thing's for certain, after all the away games I've got set this month and Christmas itself, I haven't spent a single penny on Christmas yet, not 1 penny. So it's all still to go over the next 2-3 weeks. Justifying the payment for driving up myself is unlikely.
Wants a trip to Chesterfield, Ben.
Well, if someone wants to grab me and take me up, I'll go, obviously, but that's highly unlikely. Let's be honest. So I might end up at the garden centre.
We can work on that in the chat tonight.
Well, maybe. Well, you've got to be a quick working on it because I've got to get up fairly early. But
you're not that far away, Ben. It'll be fine. Honestly,
the coaches are leaving at 9:30. That isn't early, is it? Do you know what I mean? That's normal standard time, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's at least half time for a 4-hour trip because they'd like to be there for one, don't they? So it's quite a long way. So it's gonna be good. They're a good team as well. We'll have a chat about that. I feel quite positive about tomorrow. I don't know why. Sometimes you get that feeling of it might be a bit odd, but I'm feeling actually really quite hyped up about this. So I think it might be quite a good one. Hopefully, touch wood.
Excellent. Well, we've got 2 that are definitely going, 1 that might be going, and 1 that has talked himself out of going by booking a day's worth of activities so he couldn't. Good evening, Nick.
Good evening, gents. All good here.
How's your week been, mate?
Not too bad. Some child-minding activities, and actually I was in Swindon today. Met up with some old colleagues from Thames for our Christmas lunch. So had a good day today. So very nice, very nice
lunch.
Sorry,
how was the Christmas lunch?
Excellent. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, impressed. For pub food, it's good.
Good to see you putting miles on those tyres, Nick. That's what we like to see. That's what we like.
Keep water in business.
You told me they'd last at least 2 years.
Yeah, well,
how many miles you put on them and how quickly?
I've got to stay in
That's
business
true.
for what I've got to stay in business for what this government are doing. Do you know what I mean? You've got to try.
Oh,
and
don't
see
even
it.
go, Waz,
here
don't
we
even go there, mate. Don't start me off, for Christ's
Or we
sake.
can have a special budget episode.
Right, well, that's enough of that nonsense.
Yeah.
The only thing we're talking about less than that is the cricket, because it's not being played for about 4 weeks, it seems.
Yeah, our test match corner didn't last long, did it?
No.
Pat Cummins and Josh Hazelwood out for the second test, so we've got a chance.
Yeah.
Like the first test was.
Wow, yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I guess.
we have an intro question with a bit of a difference tonight, boys. Something that we all have experience with, but something that we don't really have any knowledge of. Okay, and you'll understand why in a moment. A friend of mine, okay, a friend of mine is currently in hospital, about to have their first baby. Okay, they've gone into hospital today. Their due date is actually Monday the 1st, but they've gone in today. I believe some contractions have started to be had. So what I would like to know, I've been reassured they haven't as of yet. So what I would like from you and from everyone in the chat is a prediction of what time this baby is going to be born, please.
Ooh.
Okay. That is what I'm asking. So as of now, it is 9:10 on Friday the 28th. The baby, they are just sat or led in their hospital ward. What time is the baby going to be born? Waz, I will start with you.
Right, I've got a few questions. Well, a couple of questions.
Go on, I'll do my best to answer.
Is it their first baby?
It is her first baby, yes.
Oh, mate, that's a bit late for the time on it, isn't it?
Could
Yeah.
be delayed. Could be delayed.
I thought you had a couple of questions, Waz.
Yeah, no, that was Well, I was going to dig deep into her pregnancy, but I'm thinking, how much do you know about it?
I can confirm it's not mine, if that helps.
Well, I'd like to think so. You'd be there, wouldn't you?
No, fool's waits for nobody, was. Plus, I couldn't guarantee anybody hosting, so I had to be here.
Mate, she's got a massive chance of making the due date on Monday, because you don't know. She could go up the hospital now and she could be told to go home, the contractions and...
Yeah, every bit.
Okay, hang on. So I'm going to write these down and send them to her.
I am going to go Sunday afternoon.
Sunday, yeah.
At 5:38 p.m.
5:38, okay. I will put these in the chat as I'm going. Wazza says Sunday, 5:38.
It's always a weird time.
Ben.
Right, I'm going. What's the chap's name again?
The chap's name's Andy.
Andy, right. I'm going 8:30, so Andy just has about enough time to get on the train to get to Chesterfield.
Andy won't be coming to Chesterfield. That's
Just well done, love. Kiss on the forehead and off you pop. Yeah, no, 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Wow.
okay.
Well done.
It says 3 p.m. tomorrow in the chat. Lovely. Thank you, Sean. Done Mike's, done Wazzers. Ben said 8:30 in the morning. Nick?
I'm going for a double event. It will be at the same time that Drinnen scores for Swindon in the 10th minute. So it'll be 10 minutes past 3 Saturday afternoon.
If that happens, sorry, the kid's been called Dronaldo. That happened. The middle name's Ronaldo.
I'll predict. What shall I predict? Do you know what? I'm going to go for 2:35 Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, that's really good,
But
isn't it?
lucky for you, gents, in this random. I don't know if I flashed these up, by the way, that Mike and Sean did actually predict this thing.
4:15, 3 p.m. Just in time for the game to kick
But
off.
we have an expert in this field that can help us. Good evening, Woody.
Good evening.
Okay, yeah, here we go. He's going to get this bang on.
How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
You've come on at the
I've come
perfect
on
time.
to talking about pregnancy and babies and a totally different background on Fools. I had to check I was on the right stream.
By the way, Woody, have you got something to tell us?
yeah, there's another reason I can't make Chesterfield tomorrow. Was
So Woody, you came on a little bit late. Just to explain, a friend of mine is currently in hospital, set to give birth to her first baby. It is a girl, if that helps. And I've asked the guys to predict what time the baby's going to be born.
well, she's in hospital
Due
already.
date is the 1st of December.
Hang on, 5 feet. You've said that she's in hospital, but she hasn't been took into hospital yet. They said they've just arrived at hospital with a few
No,
pains.
she's been in hospital since noon this afternoon.
Oh, I'm going to have to retract mine from 5:38 on Sunday. I feel I'm
Oh, they might
just sat
do
on a
that.
ward. No sign of any movement.
no sign. Oh, okay.
Has the baby turned round yet? Has the baby
Why-
turned
why is
over?
she in
Is it in
hospital
position?
I
With the
can't.
head.
I don't have that information, Ben. I'm afraid.
Why is she in hospital now then?
I don't know. She went into hospital at noon and she's waiting to have her baby.
Leash? Leash?
Hypochondriac.
Can't hear me.
This
Baby went in.
is the most random feature we've ever
pregnant
done.
woman goes in yesterday. We
No,
don't know
today.
why.
Today,
Today, sorry. Due Monday. When's the likelihood of time it's going to arrive?
Whatever Alicia
No, I
says,
don't
I'm
think I
changing my
want
answer to.
Why would she be in hospital now?
like Woody's never been through this.
I like how my 18-year-old daughter who's never had a fucking baby just answered.
Oh,
Hey, right. I reckon it's not coming until Monday. She's going to be stuck in there till Monday.
Oh, I'll stay with mine. I'll stay with my
Woody
answer.
says, it's not coming. You're stuck there till Monday.
As a caveat, good luck to them, by the way. What's their names, Fifey? Andy and
Georgia.
Andy and Georgia. Good luck. If you're watching this, Georgia and Andy, probably are.
Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Wait 1 second, because I'll record you saying it and I'll put it in the group chat as well. Hang on. Woody says, it's not coming. You're stuck there till Monday.
I think it should only be.
You got to give a time, Woody. You got to give a time.
I'm going to go Monday, 11 a.m.
Oh.
11 a.m. Lovely stuff. Okay. No, you're right. What you're right was we should congratulate them. It's a big moment, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
For
First
the record,
baby.
Alicia reckons Sunday 2 p.m.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got.
And-
I feel confident now. Yes. Come on.
Well,
If it is-
wishing, oh, go on, Ben.
do they know it's a boy or a girl yet?
It's a girl.
Oh,
It's a girl. It can't be Ronaldo, can it? Be
Yeah, but they can call
Ronaldo.
it Erin. They could call it Erin.
Aaron.
Erin.
Aaron's quite
There's
good.
talk of calling it Stevie.
Aaron
Stevie's
Green.
good. I like Stevie. Yeah, I have Stevie Nicks and all that. That's not bad.
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks is the girl's name.
I know. But
Assuming that they've had it before we go live again on Monday, congratulations to Georgia and Andy.
Yeah. 100%.
Congratulations, Georgia and Andy and little baby Drizzle.
Yeah, all the best, guys.
baby drizzle.
Little baby Drizzle.
Little baby dribble.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get on to the. I'll just post that in the group chat so they've got it. There we go. Chaos. This is like the third time George has appeared on this show without ever actually being on the show as well.
Has she met?
Congratulations.
Has Georgia met the Fools before?
Yes, those of you that came to my birthday party would have met Georgia.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She your
Georgia was the
sister?
dark-haired one with a smaller blonde friend.
Okay.
Yeah,
She your sister?
is she my sister?
Yeah, I can't remember which.
I
Shan.
don't think Fifey would be hanging around here if it was his sister.
Anyway,
Mind you, you're talking to somebody who still went to watch Swindon versus Bristol Rovers whilst his other half was in hospital being induced. So
and as I
Absolutely.
pointed out on more than one occasion, I dragged myself off a hospital bed to come and do Fools once because I was scared no one else was doing it. So let's get on to the matter at hand. We've already wasted 20 minutes of people's time.
No, we have not wasted it.
no.
That's not wasted.
Um,
Time's never wasted.
we have proven that us men know absolutely nothing about the female anatomy.
No.
a running theme that I'm sure is going to go on throughout the episodes.
Christmas special. Where is the clitoris? Christmas special.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, tomorrow Swindon Town travel to Chesterfield, who are currently unbeaten at home in the league. Do Swindon have what it takes to take that 0 and turn it into a 1 in the L column? Myself and Wazza in particular will be hoping so. Otherwise, it's a particularly long way to go to see us not win. There's lots to take into. Well, there's lots for us to talk about, lots for us to digest. The availability. We know that Drinnan is back. We know Nichols is back. We know Snowdon is back. Murphy is out now for 2 months. Holloway saying that he was set to start this game. Holloway, who in a very impassionate pre-match press conference spoke about the fundamentals and the absolute basics that he expects and where he felt that Swindon were lacking last week. There's a lot to consider. Let's start with the big team news was, as we say, Drinnan. Wait, there's a goal. We've missed one. Ipswich have equalised. Let's fucking go.
Get in there.
It's now Oxford 1, Ipswich 1.
Got one more Ipswich, one more.
Mike said it was a bigger waste of time when you did Ash's corner. And Sean says, my dad missed me being born, which is watching Swindon, so you're not alone. There we go. That's what we should do. Tales of when parents missed the childbirth watching Swindon. There's an episode we want to do.
Priorities.
Anyway, let's start with that big team news. We already heard that Wilson Brown was out for best part of 2 months. We now hear Murphy's out for best part of 2 months. But the return in one game potentially of Drinnan, Snowdon and Nichols is huge for this Swindon team.
Yeah, if you look at it from the start of the season, 3 vital cogs, you know what I mean? And you look at, if you break it down one by one, Snowdon is ahead of McGregor in that right wing back position.
Massively.
Yeah, and he's massive to have back. Creativity down that right side. Yeah, definitely. Kilkenny doesn't look the same when he hasn't got Nichols next to him. And likewise, if Kilkenny's out, Nichols don't look the same. Those two in the centre of the park are vital for us to be winning games.
Absolutely.
And then the surprise package for me, Aaron Drinnan this season. You know what I mean? Top goal scorer, absolutely flying. The press doesn't work as well if he's not there. 3 vital cogs to come back in, which is massive, especially with the news of, you know what I mean, with Murphy being out now and Wilson Brown. It's about, and what I said on Monday, it's about putting players back into their natural positions. And this is what this looks like. I know we say Snowdon isn't that position, but he's looked very good there. He doesn't look out of place there. And then getting Drinnan back up the top end of the pitch and getting Tom Nichols back in centre midfield is massive. So I'm expecting a real positive, you know what I mean, a positive performance with those 3 back in the side, most definitely.
Nick, in your opinion, do all 3 come straight back into the lineup?
You would think so, but you never know with Holloway, do you? Yeah. He's always one to pull a surprise. I would like to see all 3 in. Drinnan and Snowdon definitely, I would say, would be in. I guess the doubt is probably Nichols is probably less likely, although, as was said, he has been a key player. But I say with Holloway, you just don't know what he's going to do. But it gives him options. And listening to his press conference, that's what he was talking about, having players that have got the right skill sets to do what he wants them to do. And if he's got the right bodies in there, I'm sure he'll pick a team. And they've been beasted for a few days, and they're going to be working their guts out on Saturday. So they do that, and then we'll be okay.
Ben, do you expect to see I don't like to say experiment. It's not really an experiment when he's done it before, but do you expect to see the continuation of playing predominant central midfielders in the defence, or do you think that Holloway will revert back to kind of round pegs in round holes for this game?
If Nichols is back and he plays in the centre, which I expect he probably will do, then we will see Clark at left centre. He doesn't drop his captain at all. Though I do think other players are better suited in that position. And I actually think Ball is a better centre back than Clark is. But yes, I think they continue. I think Clark is either nailed in left centre back or centre midfield. And I think he likes Nichols in the centre midfield because of his link up play. So I think we'll see Clark at left centre back. So answer to your question, yes.
With that in mind, though, Ben, does that see Ball continue at centre back as well, or do you think that maybe he drops out?
I think he'll drop out myself. Possibly, I think Wright will play, and then Tafazoli if fit. The only way I see Ball playing if Tafazoli's not fit. But we saw Tafazoli come off early, didn't we, on the weekend? So you don't know. He'll keep that one. We'll find that out as soon as he comes out at 1:45. But if Tafazoli is fit, then Ball, I think, will come off the bench second half.
Sticking with the defensive side of the game just for a moment, Woody, Holloway detailed exactly what he felt Chesterfield were going to do. He spoke specifically about their tactics and how they were going to do it with two very wide players, one sort of focal point and I think the term he used was roaming number 10. Swindon have the concentration levels, do you feel, to deal with that kind of threat?
I think it relates a little bit to what Ben was saying. It kind of depends who we've got at the back and who we've got in the middle as to the concentration levels. I think the issue you've got with a roaming 10 is who picks him up, because you could either have one of your midfielders picking him up, but then you lose that match like for like in midfield, or you risk one of your defenders being potentially pulled out, which is probably why I actually see Clark probably being in there more, because I think that he'll use Clark in kind of that transitional phase to worry about that number 10 when they're breaking through, because the other two, one of them will worry about the attacker, the number 9, so to speak. So I didn't listen to it all, and but what I did quite like is that he almost divulged all of his analysis in one interview, which I haven't got an issue with, because let's be honest, it was yesterday, so Thursday afternoon. So even if he has divulged it, Chesterfield haven't got time to change all of that anyway, if that is what they are doing. So I kind of like the fact that whilst he doesn't have to answer to the fans in terms of how we're playing, how we're setting up. He's almost answered that. He's almost answered, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Without directly looking like he's answered it. So
the best bit about that for me was he was asked the question, I think it was by Andrew Hawes, how do you describe kind of the base tactic that Swindon play? And he kind of screwed up his face, because I was watching the YouTube coverage just sort of shortly before we came on tonight. He sort of screwed up his face and said, yes, shall I just divulge everything we do so that the opposition know? Went on a little bit of a rant about why the question's being asked, and then a 5-minute insight into every element of our tactical base, saying defensively, sometimes it's a 3-4-3, sometimes it's 3-5-2, sometimes we're 4-4-2 ready to press. We do this, we do that. He talks about the 5 lanes and how he'll either go with 3 or then he'll go with 2 and 3. And he's literally spoke about it.
Love him. Love him.
He was very much like that last night when I went to the Phil King thing, and he goes, I don't like to give it away. People asked him about his managerial things and how he goes about things. He said, I don't like giving it away. That's why I don't tell even my fans sometimes how we're going to set up and how we're going to do things, because I like to keep it very, if you can get a bit of a one over another manager and a bit of a tactical sort of, if you can get one up on them early, that's how very much he was describing it, which I can sort of understand. So that's why it is a complete guessing game, isn't it, tomorrow? You know what I mean? Like there's so many options, the ways that how he's going to do things. And yeah, it's a really weird one. I feel that he gets Clark into the team at the moment, so Clark will play in defence. I think he will. I think if Nichols and Kilkenny are fit, I think they start because they're just together. They're as good as a two. I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow the way we got overrun at Grimsby at home against Grimsby, and the way that Chesterfield set up with a 3-man midfield as well. That if he doesn't compensate and gives us an extra man in there and maybe plays Oldacre, and then that would mean going maybe only 2 up top. Do you know what I mean? So how he would go about that. He was very scathing last night of Palmer and Bodin, the way that he criticised that he's even made it perfectly clear that they would too, even though they scored the goals on Saturday, that he was very unhappy with the way that they pressed, that they didn't do enough. And he was very, very unhappy. So it wouldn't surprise me tomorrow if it's a little dig at Palmer and a little dig. I can see Bodin being left out and being on the bench. It'd be a ballsy move if he decides to go Palmer as well, but it wouldn't surprise me with Drinnan fit. And does he go Drinnan and Glatzel as the 2 up top? Goes with a lot of energy and a lot of pressing. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, but I can see him putting an extra man in the middle tomorrow. And I was crying out for it. And I said on Monday about Oldacre being that sort of luxury midfielder. He can't do it in the 2, but he can do it in a bit of a free role. And I could see that happening tomorrow.
The other thing was,
sorry, go on.
The other thing he could throw in there, and he has sort of hinted and talked well of him. He might even throw Tabor in there.
Yeah,
you just never know. Like you said, if he's unhappy with the 2 up front, you know, put him on the bench and give Tabor a run at the start.
Yeah,
and that would probably throw that would throw the opposition, because I'm sure that they'll know roughly how Swindon are going to set up. They'll have their scouts doing the work. I mean, he outlined how they play, so Swindon know how other teams play.
And we don't know how Swindon are going to play.
But we don't know any. Fifey, we don't know anything. We don't understand the reasoning behind why he does things. And in being serious, I thought I loved his press conference, and it was so good. It's made me thinking, like, shut up, Smithy, because you don't know what you're talking about, and you know, you've got no real right to criticise what he's doing, because he knows what he's on. He sees them every day. He puts out the team that he thinks will win the game. I think it's okay for us to say, why are you playing players out of position? Like Clark, why is Clark playing centre half? I think that's a valid question. But tactically and set it up, you know, leave him to it.
Well, off the back of both what Nick and Wazza was saying there, the interesting point, and I was going to come on to it as well, is he talked up Drinnan, he talked up Tabor for similar reasons, you know, his willingness to run, his willingness to press. But the one that's not been mentioned there is Prince Will, because he seems to be the only one that he describes as having that ability to actually run at people. Now, I disagree. I haven't seen it in what I've seen. But he was talking about, or he was asked about, obviously, Butterworth and not having that type of player available. And what he did say was, when Prince came on, he was the only player who could get the ball and was willing to try and beat a man, as opposed to just pass and move. Woody, do you think we're missing that sort of dribbler in the team?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Butterworth, I think everybody will agree that I think Butterworth was actually a lot more effective than he was the most effective sub I think we had. I think he had the ability. Well, I say had. I'm talking like he's dead. But he did have that ability to kind of excite, undo, find those. He could play against a low block, you know, and it was quite similar to kind of Jack Payne in some ways, in that he could undo those little bits. So yeah, and if I could just reflect on the previous question as well, previous questions a couple of ago, is like about the way Holloway's approached this interview. I agree with Nick. I only heard snippets, but I do like it. I think it's also a bit of a defensive tactic from him, because he's coming up against probably the most, without exception of him, the most experienced manager in this league. You know, because Cook's got over 900 games himself. So I think if there's anybody that I don't want to say fearful of, but if there's anybody he knows he might have a bit of trouble with, it's probably someone like Paul Cook, because they're both tacticians. They're both, I rate Paul Cook really highly, but and he's probably deserved finally to get the squad together that he's got, given his history. So I think it's almost a bit of like defensive mind games by like almost divulging everything he's done on analysis on him. The other thing I'm thinking does really hinder his selection, and regardless of it, is the fact that this is actually a really important week for Swindon, because we've got, obviously, we want to get back to winning ways in the league. We've then got the next round of the Virtue Trophy, which now is the stage that he probably will start thinking, I need to play more first team players, because this is a competition we might be able to progress in, because that's on Tuesday. And then obviously we've got the FA Cup next week. So I think
3 wins in this week.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's so I think he's also got to weigh that up, which is why I kind of agree. I think it was Nick said about table starting. That really wouldn't surprise me, because he'll have Tuesday in mind of an opportunity to progress. I said that I'd probably, until I'd heard his interview, I would have expected Table to be starting on Tuesday. But given the fact that, like you've mentioned about the Palmer situation, if he wasn't impressed with Palmer, he almost needs to make a point.
Can't be prioritising Tuesday over tomorrow, though, can he?
I don't think he's prioritising, but it'll be playing on his mind in terms of how much he plays with everybody.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a case of prioritisation, but it's a case of we've got 3 players come back, but we still got injuries in the squad. And it's the same. Like, if he feels that he can give Tafazorli an extra couple of days rest and play him 90 minutes on Tuesday, I think he'll do that, rather than playing him for 45, 60 minutes tomorrow where he's half fit, and then bringing him off like Ben mentioned earlier. So yeah, I think he'll have all of those things in mind. But what was your question, Fifey? Because I've been waiting to answer those 2 questions, so I've actually forgot what your question to me was.
Do you think that Swindon are missing a dribbler?
Oh yeah, no, I did answer that. Prince Will's not the answer for that, I don't think. Prince Will's.
If Prince Will is the answer, what is the question?
Yeah, I think. Don't get me wrong. We all want him to do well, don't we? But the problem is with Prince Will is he is like a really younger Danny Welbeck to me. Every second touch is a tackle. He's got very good first touch. He can pull away from a player. But then after that, it feels like if that player recovers and gets back in front of him, he doesn't know what to do. It's almost like that first touch is enough to... It's a bit like when you played with younger kids and you always had that kid who could just touch it around one side of you and then run round the other and just run after it. That's what Prince Will reminds me of. And I just think that he's not that player. He's not a Danny Butterworth type player. I do think that he has potential attributes, but unfortunately, I don't think we're in the area where we want potential attributes. We want players, especially once we bought him on loan. If he was like a youngster that we had signed or brought up through the academy, I guess I'm just struggling to see what his impact is now. And I mean that in the greatest way, but I would not be gutted if he goes back in January. I genuinely wouldn't.
Give it 12 or 13 years and he'll be an absolute game changer.
Yeah.
Danny Welbeck's better at 34 than he was at 24.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
That's for sure. Should say, Evening Shah, she said, hope you're all good. Come on, Swindon, hoping for a double promotion for us. That would be lovely. It's certainly easier to say that when you're top of the National League than sort of somehow like questioning how you're still second in League Two. But yes, let's hope we can celebrate double promotions for both teams this season. Ben, as I mentioned in the intro to this segment, Chesterfield are unbeaten at home. You've heard Woody discuss obviously Paul Cook and his career as well. Just how difficult is this game for Swindon tomorrow?
It is difficult because they're a good team. They've got good players that can hurt us. They've actually conceded a lot more goals than we have this season. So there is the potential to get at them and score goals, but there's they create a lot as well. And I guess they probably score a lot at home, so they know how to open teams up and they know how to win games, don't they? So there's potential to be a bit of a thriller. I don't think Swindon will go there to shut up shop. I think we'll go there to win. So I think it's going to be.
It's not. We're just not good enough.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So we'll play to our strengths and we'll try and score goals. So if you're doing the old Paul's panel, you'd say like goal for each team, wouldn't you? But it's going to be a tough game. But I think we've got a fair shout. I think our away form is pretty good, and if anyone's going to beat them, we're as good as team as any.
Nick, this kicks off. I know the likes of myself, Woody. We say all the time that every game is very important, obviously, but this really does kick off that kind of busy festive schedule that everyone talks about. How important is it on the back of what hasn't necessarily been great form? It's not been terrible, but it's not been great. How important is it to get a win tomorrow? Or is it more a positive result? Is it more important to win or to not lose tomorrow?
I think it's more important to win. We've had one win in 6 in the league.
Yeah.
So we need to change that. And with what the players have been through this week and everything Holloway's talked about, I'm sure you're going to see a very different performance to what the last few games, certainly the last few home games have been. And I mean, if they've won 5 on the trot at home, well, it's just about time they lose one. So I don't think what they've done in the past really matters. Obviously, it's a confidence thing for them, but there's no reason we can't go there full of confidence. We've got probably, I mean, we don't know. There might be the odd injury that he hasn't talked about, that players missing, but we've got as full a squad as we can have, basically. So there's no excuses for us not to go out and give everything to go and win that game. We just got to go win the thing, and I think we're fully capable of it. So I'm more than confident that we'll get 3 points.
Okay, we kind of skirted around the idea so far, Woody, but now it's time for everyone's favourite moment on a Friday. How are Swindon going to shape up to win this game? We know that Ripley will be in goal, but I asked Ben about what the defensive makeup's going to be. What do you believe?
I still think he'll set out with 3-5-2, or it'll be that kind of 3-4-3 that technically is a 3-5-2. He just changes how he plays those front 3. Bloody Holloway. It's quite funny because sometimes I do my match day pack. Sometimes I try to mimic going like, this is what we're going to look like in possession, and it's like I just wish I could explain it like Holloway does. But yeah, I think I still think he'll stick with the 3 at the back because I think he has a bit of trust in that. And whilst
we're not, what does that 3 look like tomorrow?
I think somebody mentioned it earlier. It wouldn't surprise if Tafazoli's fit. I wouldn't be surprised to see Wright, Tafazoli, and Clark. Okay. I think I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we joked about it, didn't we, last week, that I said we could really do with an actual defender like Will Wright on the pitch at the moment. But that being said, obviously that defence didn't lose, did it, last week? So it's but I think he's going to have to. He needs someone like Tafazoli in there, I think, because I just feel like, although it was a silly goal last week, a couple of goals last week, but I feel like even the likes of Ripley feel more comfortable when Tafazoli's there, and you can see it on his clips and stuff like that he posts and things like that. You just know he's a talker, which I think is what we need, and that's no disrespect to anybody else, even to Clark in some way. To me, Clark's not a big talker; he leads by example. Rather than talking, and I don't know. I didn't dislike it last week, to be totally honest. The back 3, I know Ball was in there, but I do think that again, Ball's another one I think he'll have in his mind to potentially give 90 minutes to on Tuesday. So that's why I don't think he'll play Ball tomorrow. Okay. And obviously, Wright is. I know previous doesn't always matter, but if a player's scored on a ground, sometimes it's a bit of an omen for them. It's a bit of a good omen for them. And obviously Wright scored that it was last season, wasn't it? Scored that,
Yep.
you know, that arguably that worldie there. It's probably the best thing he
Let's not
did
get
last
carried
season. Hey, as a bat, if Messi had done it, we would have been talking about it for months. So,
I wouldn't
so yeah, I think he will look at right tomorrow. So that'll be the back three, I think.
And then, do you subscribe to the same notion of the lads then that it's pretty much nailed on? Snowden, Nichols, Kilkenny, Monroe.
Snowden, Nichols, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And then, how does your three up top then look? Is it one behind two? Is it a flat three?
I think he will play one behind two, and I think it'll be Oldacre. He does like, and I think when you've got workhorses like Nichols and Kilkenny, it's not a bad thing to have someone like Oldacre who just will link the play between the back and the front. I think he likes him as well at the moment. I know he splits the fan base, and I get that, but I do think Ollie likes him. I think I think we are starting to see in possession. I do genuinely believe if we really reflected, we're probably starting to see what he can offer us. Out of possession is always questionable because, I think sometimes I run to the other side of the stand quicker than he does. But he definitely has a good link-up play. I don't think we can deny that. But some of his passing ability is brilliant. So I think he'll go with Oldacre behind. I might as well finish it off. I think it will be. I think he'll go with Drinnen and Glatz.
Okay, I think I'm in agreement. I can't think of anyone that that's obviously missing, in my opinion. Is that the kind of 11 you're expecting tomorrow? It's a big question, basically. Tafazoli.
I think it's pretty simple. If Tafazoli isn't there, then I don't think he'll bring Mabete in, but he'll bring Knight LaBelle in. I really agreed with Woody. I do. I think Palmer will be given the opportunity to come off the bench. I think Drinnen will be straight in away from home against a team in form at home. I think he will give him a hat-trick
last time out as well. Remember against MK Dons?
I think he will give him a bit of respect. And Holloway isn't. You know what I mean? I think he'd be happy to sort of go up to them and, you know what I mean, and give what we can. But the key is that you forget that even if we take these players out, they're options, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? Off the bench when you need it, 20 minutes to go, Ollie Palmer will be a completely different animal to what someone like Aaron Drinnen is. Oxford scored again. Have they 5-8?
Ipswich have done everything but score. Literally everything but score.
But I agree with the shape of the midfield. I think Oldacre will be in against his former club as well. I think Holloway will have him proper up for that. And I think Oldacre could have a massive say in the game tomorrow. So I think, and with the two behind him, he's got a bit of security to get in that free role. And I think when he plays the two, you have to play two engines because they've got to cover across that back four. And I think the only options that you've got are Drinnen and Glatzel. If you're going the one and the two either side, then Palmer plays, doesn't he? Because Palmer's that focal point down the middle. But if you're going to play the split two, then Drinnen and Glatzel are the two. So I totally agree with Woody. I think it'll be exactly the same. I think the only tweaks will be at the back. If there is any, it's whether Tafazoli, like you said, if Tafazoli's fit. And he does like Knight LaBelle, doesn't he? It wouldn't surprise to be seeing Knight LaBelle in over right, would it? Do you know what I mean? If he really likes Knight LaBelle. So you don't know. But I think the rest of the pitch, the top end looks pretty set. But it's the back for me that could be a bit. But this is Holloway, isn't it? We've said it earlier. We could be completely wrong tomorrow. Nick could be
still playing left wing back tomorrow.
It could be Tabor up front. It could be Tabor up front with Palmer. Bowden could be in the 10. It's mental, isn't it? What it could be.
Ben, the infamous question that nobody likes to answer. Then we've decided what the 11's going to be, but where's this game won and lost?
I think both defences are suspect, and it's the team that defends the better out of the two of them. I think both teams will create chances. I think there's a good chance both teams will score. the defence that deals with the opposition's attackers the best will probably come out on top. Yeah, I think that's why. I think that's what happened. I'm amazed Chesterfield succeeded more than us, and it's a fair few more than us as well. So they've clearly got some issues there. So we'll have to wait and see. Thanks.
Woody, sound effects button. Do you know what? I got really worried then because I could hear it. I knew I hadn't pressed it. I forgot you still could press all the buttons as well. Holloway spoke in his pre-match, Nick, about the fundamental principles of football generally and playing for him. Is that why you expect it to be a different performance from last week? Because he's mentioned it sort of 4 or 5 times exactly what's required to play for the Ian Holloway team.
Well, if the players don't respond to what he said, there's something drastically wrong, and I think they will respond because they've got no choice basically. Because if they don't, they're going to be out the team and they won't even make the bench in the future. They've got to put blood, sweat, and tears in there. But going back to the setup and where it'll be won or lost, I'll just go back to what I say every time. It's the midfield's the critical area. We've got to command that midfield. And I think he will play Drinnen, and I'm convinced Tabor will start because he's on about work rate in press and fitness, and Tabor's something they won't know anything about. So I can see him starting. So I think we might get that. Might be the surprise in there. And the midfield, then, yeah, we've just got to get that midfield right. And I would rather have Clark in the midfield, but we're all pretty sure that's not going to happen. But the three that the lads have said, yeah, I'll go along with that quite happy. And if he's obviously going to set it up how he thinks is correct. But that's where it's going to be won or lost.
Well, I don't disagree with what Woody kind of outlined, Nick. On your point there, do you think there's an opportunity perhaps for a Clark Kilkenny with Nichols slightly further forward to kind of still have those 3 in there, but have the battlers right in the middle and Nichols just with that little something extra playing that extra forward role?
Well, this is basically what he was saying. It's having options and having players with the right skill sets that what he wants them to do. So, as was said, you could have any combination in there of probably 5 or 6 players that you could say, yeah, that's a good fit, and yeah, they look good together. And again, we'll find out tomorrow at 1:45 what actual side he puts out. But I don't think. Does it matter what 2 or 3 he puts in there with the players we've got available? And if they do the job that he wants them to do with our squad, it shouldn't matter. Anybody who comes in should be able to do the job that Holloway wants them to do. And that's the key thing. They've got to win their individual battles. And I think they're going to be going hell for leather to do that. Otherwise, they know what the consequences are. Simple as that.
Okay. Well, let's see exactly how confident you are. Alfie's already gone 2-1 in the chat, saying Palmer and Wright to score. Ben, let me start with you this week. Score prediction, please.
I think it'd be quite an open game. I think both teams will go try and score goals. I do agree with everyone else. I think it'd be Drinnen and Glatz with Oldacre at 10. When we've played our best football early in the season, it's been with these players when the game has been open. So I think we'll create chances. I think Drizzle will come back with 2 goals, and I think Swindon will win 3-1.
Lovely. Let's go Woody next.
I think it's going to be a close affair, but I do think there'll be goals. So I'm going to go 3-2 Swindon.
Okay. Let's go over to Wazza.
I think it'll be a draw. And I think it could be a 2-2 or, like Peter said, a 3. I can see it just being a high-scoring game. I agree both defences look quite suspect. So I think it'll be a 2-2 draw tomorrow. Obviously, I'll be cheering like hell to get the win. But, 2-2 on the win.
Nick?
I think you boys are going to have a much better day than you believe. And I think it's going to be a 3-0 victory for the team. We are going to smash them. That's my... Yeah, I'll stick with 3-0.
Go on, Nick.
Love
Just
that.
want to make my prediction. For the 13th time in their history, Ipswich have gone to Oxford and lost.
Fuck off, Ipswich, you cunts.
Hey, Ben.
Ow.
Sorry.
I don't disagree with Nick in that we can win, but taking everything that's been said on board and just how many goals you boys have predicted, I'm going to go for Swindon to win 1-0.
Oh.
So here's something interesting, Fifey, right?
Go on.
I was just thinking this because it made me think, because I saw someone post the other day to say that probably our best game so far this season was Crewe away 3-0.
Yeah.
The lineup that day, Ripley in goal, obviously. Mabete was Mabete, Wright, and Wilson Brown at the back. Wilson Brown then came off for Ollie Clark. The midfield that day was Kilkenny, Nichols, and Oldacre.
Yeah,
I remember. They were superb that day. They were superb.
Up front was Glatzel and Dryden.
Yeah.
So, whilst the back three is almost completely different, the players that are now available to Ollie, I wouldn't be surprised if that's not far off the first time all of them have been fit and available for him.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, sorry, I didn't mention the fullbacks, but we all know who the wing backs were that day, so we don't need to go through that. But yeah, so it'd be interesting if he does look at that and he goes, look how attacking we were that day, and go from there.
Yeah, well, we will find out in a little under, why can't I do the maths? 15 hours time is how that goes. Before we go over to the women's side of the game and talk about what they're up to this weekend, did anybody see the news that obviously Wazza, you were one of a couple of fools that attended the Phil King night, and you mentioned that earlier. But did anybody see the news that came out, I think it was today, that Swindon Town are going to be doing a Meet the Players event on Monday at Harper's Steakhouse and Bar in Weybridge in Swindon? Now, that in itself doesn't shock me. It's more the fact that the event is going to run from 9:30 till 10:30 a.m. So they're doing a Meet the Players event where most people are at work and most kids are at school.
Bizarre.
Can anybody help me understand?
No, that's going to be embarrassing because no one's going to be there.
I mean, would he?
3 days' notice, and people at work and school. Imagine the Christmas holidays. What are you doing?
It's probably one of those reverse kind of managing crowds kind of arguments, isn't it? Like, if they do it, then you're only going to really get the diehards. So whereas if they did it kind of in the evening, Harper's Steakhouse wouldn't be able to operate that day. So there'll be some business continuity piece behind it, I'm sure, but it does seem a bit strange. I don't know. It's
they all just want breakfast. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a free bit scran, isn't it?
The Twins still own it. I don't know if the Twins still own it, but but yeah, it does seem a bit strange.
Unless there's
a question, Alfie.
Oh, that's
sorry, Waz. I was just going to answer Alfie's question quick. Me and Waz are going to be there. We're trying to convince Ben to be there. Woody and Nick have ruled themselves out.
Fifey, don't wind. That's my brother. Don't wind him up because he can't come tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Says Wazza laughing.
He can pick me up on the way if he wants to come.
He can't. Ben, you won't want to drive. He can't drive.
No.
Sorry, Waz, I interrupted the point you were going to make.
Unless, sometimes they do, unless they pull a group of schools out sometimes, don't they? They seem to have that, but you'd think that would be planned already. Do you know what I mean? If they were going to do with school kids going in to see them, but Yeah, it does seem really weird time.
No,
to do it.
it's for the people of my age. It's all for the
Oh,
pensioners will be there.
Oh, are you going, Nick? Are you?
Oh yeah, I'm going to go all the way to Swindon for that, and I for 9:30 in the
Oh.
morning.
Miles in that tyres,
So Nick can get his photo of Dryden.
Yeah.
It's Nick's tea and regular tea and biscuits morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look what
Well,
you
that-
started here now. Yeah, my brother wouldn't take me, never does. He's horrible. But I'm going to Cheltenham away and Bristol away. Booked in.
He's in that like the group now. He goes to only like the big ones, like the Bristols and the Cheltenhams and stuff.
Oh,
Big
I'm
one.
fucking old, but I've had my years now.
glory fan.
We'll take Theo to them. I go to the longer ones now, just to
The experience.
the experience. Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, let's move on then, and Woody, let's come to you, and let's talk about what's going on around the county on Sunday.
Yeah.
You've come prepared. You've got your highlight.
Woody's Women's Football Pick of the Week. Bassett, Swindon, a caution to see. One big match, the spotlight's clear. Your fixture focus starts right here. Woody's Pick of the Week.
I love it.
Hello.
Viper, you need to play it again. You need to do it again.
I'll play it again. That's fine.
Woody's Women's Football Pick of the Week. Bassett, Swindon, a caution to see. One big match, the spotlight's clear. Your fixture focus starts right here. Woody's Pick of the Week.
Quiz, you just go one team and then that's it. I was thinking, name the team.
We've hit the big time, gentlemen. We have hit
No
the big time.
expense spared on production.
I know.
unfortunately.
I wanted to get a video ready for it as well, but I ran out of time this week. But yeah, like the old cheesy, I was going to have like just snapshots of me at grounds like that. But it is a good one this weekend for those who either A, are into women's football, or B, want to be into women's football, to be fair. There's a lot going on. Obviously, there's our boys Caution, or our boys Caution team.
Our boys caution.
Our boys Rich's Caution team.
There
They've got City Women, which is obviously one of my old assistants against one of my other old assistants, so the apprentice derby. There is a little bit of significance on that one, because depending on how results go and how a goal swing might go, it could mean that Corsham are top of the league at the end of the day. However, that is to be impacted by our other favoured team, as Bassett take on Whitchurch, who are currently at the top.
The back.
In terms of what it means for Bassett have an opportunity to go second, above Corsham, depending on Corsham's result, or they could potentially go third. But obviously, Bassett and Corsham have got a couple of games in hand of the teams above them. Whitchurch, who Bassett are playing, have only lost one game this season. So yeah, there's a little bit going on. Bassett are at home, so it's definitely probably the wrong weekend to be at home, because unfortunately, as much as my ties, and I've already apologized to Maddie because I might not be there. My actual pick of the week is actually Swindon Moneyfields at the county ground. So obviously,
big game.
Both sides are undefeated. It's an official early season top of the table clash. Moneyfields are currently top, but due to the fact that they have played more games, I think they haven't got 100%. I think they've won them all bar one, which they drew. And obviously, Swindon is still on that. Was it 15 now, Fifey? 15 game winning streak.
18, I think.
Is it 18? Oh, God, see, I'm losing count. So it'll be good, I think, for Rich Wood's team to be back into league action this week against a team where they really are going to have to put their pits against them in terms of Moneyfields also being one of those who are really gunning for those promotion spots or that promotion spot. So yeah, I would, and obviously Swindon are at home. It's at the county ground. So that is my pick of the week, although there are many to choose from. I think, unfortunately, Caution will probably see less of our followers because they are obviously away to Gloucester at Gloucester City, which is a nice little stadium. If people have ever been there, the Tiger Turf, it is a nice little stadium, some good food. It's a very unusual stadium. It's a bit like kind of the non-league version of Harrogate, where it just seems there's a lot of random things put together. But yeah, I think if you want, well, they're both roughly around the same price, but if you want that nice, calm, relaxing atmosphere, then Bassett might be your go-to, where you can have a beer and all of that kind of stuff. But likewise, obviously Swindon, I'm hoping, really, really hoping they get a decent crowd this year. I even might take my little ones there for on Sunday, just especially for the younger one, to try her out at the stadium. So because she knows Bassett already. Well, all three of them know Bassett quite well. So yeah, I think it would definitely be, if I was to choose, I would probably say Swindon versus Moneyfields. But for those, again, if you're into women's football, there's a good pick around the county, including some more local fixtures, even more local fixtures. But equally, you've got the likes of Bassett, Whitchurch, which is obviously another early season table topper.
Absolutely. And rest assured, this isn't a one-off. Woody's self-produced title music will continue from now on until he gets bored of it, because I very much appreciated the effort that's gone into it. We've only been going a little over an hour, boys, and the reason for that is I wanted to kind of talk about some of the other stuff going around football at the moment, to ask your opinions. For example, question number one: Is the Premier League already done? Have Arsenal won it? And is it because they're that good, or because everyone else is just not up to the level? This is an accusation that was thrown at Liverpool last year. They also play Chelsea this weekend, who are currently second. If they win that, they go 9 points clear, I believe. And off the back of that answer, is the Premier League boring? Nick, let's start with you.
Arsenal have got the best chance they will ever have of winning the Prem. If they don't do it, to me, they've thrown it away. And I know there's still a long way to go, and they could go on, drop a couple of games easily. But they've got such a strong side. In they say defenses win titles. Defensively, they are so strong. And he's probably got 2 players for every position. So for me, it's theirs for the taking. Yes, the other teams have dropped off. Man City have been losing games. Liverpool have, God knows what's happened to them. Chelsea, so they're a second, and they haven't been brilliant in the league. They've been great in the European games, but they've had some iffy games in the league. So has it evened out? I don't say the teams at the top are any worse. I think it's the middle teams are so much better. Your Bournemouths, your Brentfords, your Crystal Palace, they're all giving it a bloody good go in the league. So I think the league is probably more even than it's been for quite a long time. So I think that's the difference. But Arsenal are just that little bit better than the rest of them.
Okay, Ben?
I quite agree. I think it's Arsenal's to lose. They've got to really blow it, because no one else is really standing up and putting their hand up, are they? Liverpool are gone. Man City are okay, but drop points along the way and probably will get distracted with the Champions League. I can't see anyone else putting a strong enough run to keep up with Arsenal, so they need to implode to not win this league. I can't see anyone else but Arsenal winning it, to be fair, and winning it by some margin.
Okay. Woody?
I can't believe we're having this conversation on the basis of the fact that they beat Tottenham, who just didn't bother showing up on the day. Yeah, I mean, let's be honest, that they let Richarlison score from over the halfway line. So,
well, I was going to. Do you know what? It took all my self-control not to say when Nick said they had all those players to not say their keeper did get long from the halfway line.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's the modern keeper for you, though, isn't it?
Rubbish.
I'm gonna say that next time, Nick. Next time he criticises Ripley, I'm gonna go. That's the modern keeper, though. 5 feet.
Yeah.
I agree with Nick. It's this is Arsenal's best opportunity based on the squad they've got, and it pains me to say it, but I'm not quite sold on that it's Arsenal's to lose because they are only 6 points ahead. That's if you think of a game week where 2 Premier League games take place, that could be lost in 1 week. So I say this every year, and nice years I'm proven wrong because the Premier League is sometimes boring. But I can never rule out Man City. I just can't. I can't. Like, even now we're saying they're playing poorly, yet they're still third place, hanging in there. 7 points behind. Chelsea have. Yes, they haven't been too great in the league, but they have started to pick up form of late. But let's not forget the dark horses of Crystal Palace, who have only lost 2 games this season. So in the league, so yes, they've drawn.
Crystal Palace, who are a bit of an enigma because every time they lose their best player, they get better.
Yeah, exactly. So
they're weird team.
I really like. I think it was Nick that said it. The point about kind of what you would traditionally call your mid-place table teams, they are a lot stronger. I think this year. I do wonder whether kind of the Champions League format has a bit of a play in that and the Europa League format and the Conference League format has a bit of a play in that for some of the teams. I mean, Man United suddenly found form at one point and then they were hanging around and then they lose 1 game and they drop down a couple of places. So it is. I do think that Liverpool couldn't afford to lose the amount of games they have. So I do think that they're not necessarily out of the question. You can't rule anybody out after 12 games. But I do think that's not helped them, given the fact that most teams that have won the title the last few years have probably only lost maximum of 5 games. I'm going to look at Wazza because he's the type of person that knows those type of stats. Like probably only lost a maximum of 5 games over the last maybe 4 or 5 seasons. So, if you go on that mantra, you've still got Arsenal, you've still got Chelsea, you've still got Man City, you've still got Villa, which obviously... But then we sit there and we may laugh at Villa, but I'm sat here thinking, how the hell is Sunderland in 7th? So,
unbelievable.
But no, in my opinion, I kind of got bored of the Premier League, not because of that. I got bored of the Premier League because of VAR, to be honest. I just don't enjoy watching it anymore. But... and I also think it's getting, which is maybe why it suits Arsenal. I do think the Premier League is getting quite defensive. It's getting quite about how to not lose rather than how to win. And that suits Arsenal. Like Nick said, they've got very good defence. So it does suit them. So
I do apologise to not only Woody, but to everyone watching and listening that Ben apparently is the loudest eater of an apple.
I'm sorry. I didn't know you could. Sorry. Sorry, I didn't know you could hear. I would have muted me.
No, you weren't muted.
Sorry, Woody.
Point, Ben.
Sorry, I was only eating an apple and my mouth was closed, so I didn't know how to make any noises.
But I think
you
secretly,
dragged your chair along the floor. It's like, oh, mama.
I think secretly all the fools don't want Chelsea to win because we won't hear the end of it from Rich for about 5 years. I don't think. I think he's only just stopped talking about the bloody World Club Cup or whatever it is that nobody watched. Although that did provide some really entertaining games in his credit. So, but yeah. So yeah, Arsenal. It is Arsenal's
imagine a Sunday where imagine a Sunday where Caution go top of the league and Chelsea beat Arsenal. He's locked himself off now. Wazza, your thoughts, please.
I agree with points that all of them have made. I agree with Nick that this is Arsenal's best chance with the squad that they've got. But I agree that I don't think it is theirs to lose. This is way too early. Like I've just had a look at their fixtures. Their next 3 away games are Chelsea, Aston Villa, and Everton. They're no gimmies. Like, you know, I mean, Woody's
exactly.
exactly.
In the Premier League, there was no gimmies, was there?
No, but they're tough places to go, and this will show their mettle. You know, I mean, Villa 6 to 8 weeks ago when we first started the season, Villa started so poorly, and people were going, "Oh, has Emery lost his way?" And look how they've come steamrolling back. And he's doing an absolute sterling job there. But the Premier League, to me, the teams that have come up have made a difference because they've come up and they've been fearless and had a go, and they're all on good points tallies for the start of the season for them. And it's made all the mid-table teams go up another level as well. So it has improved because the last 3 seasons with the teams coming up that have just gone straight back down, it's been a bit shit because you want to see everyone trying to push as high as they can go. And I agree, teams like Palace, Brighton, Sunderland, Bournemouth, they've been brilliant to watch. You know what I mean? Brilliant to watch. Breath of fresh air, playing to their strengths and not fearing these big teams anymore. I think the novelty days of when you used to fear like a Man United and you used to fear Man City a few years ago, I think you can come up against any team in the Prem now and have a go. But I think it's just a cycle because you think Man City had pure domination and Arsenal were always that second place team. And now they've got to their point where they're probably going to have a moment where they've got a chance to win it and it'll just keep revolving round. So I don't know. I've got in the back of my head that they might just blow it. I think that the pressure will get to them. It will get to them. Because
as long as it's not to Liverpool, it'll be the funniest crash out ever.
I think the only one is Man City. If they get on a run, I know they've been a bit inconsistent, but if they get on a run, Arsenal will be looking in their mirrors, going, "Oh my God, what are we going to do?" You know what I mean? And 6 points.
If you're being hunted by someone, you don't want it to be Man City.
100%, because if they get on a steamroll, they're flying. Yeah. And and people talk about squads. They've still got a very good squad. I know they're bedding some of these new lads in that have come in the summer, but they've still got a very good squad. And if now the likes of Foden are starting to get back into form, like
Doku's starting to look like an actual footballer.
Doku's looking like a player.
Very
Haaland
good.
Scoring again. They've got a strong keeper now in Donnarumma, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? He is a worldy keeper. Yeah, he is. Sorry, he is.
I like Donnarumma.
Okay.
It could be a really good season. I'm really looking for. I don't want it to be. I don't support anyone in the Prem, so I want it to be entertaining. I want it to go right to the end. I want it to be, you know what I mean? You want to go watch Match of the Day on a Saturday night, don't you? And you want the games to be good. So, yeah, I'm quite excited. I think it could be a really, really good title race.
Okay.
Just a quick, Darren House thinks Match of the Day ruined now. There's only 3 games on it. I used to love it when there was like pretty much a full fixture program with all the teams on Match of the Day.
There's so many on a Sunday now.
There's too many on a Sunday. You should have Super Sunday should be 1 game. Monday, 1 game. The rest, Saturday, 3 p.m. That's it. But there you go.
Money talks, though, Ben.
Ben, Wosner, we have big breaking news before question number 2. We've had contact with Joe. Joe has been in touch. For those tuning in, and we're just basically bringing off-camera stuff on camera. Joe has a weekend off, so we've tried to convince Joe to come to Chesterfield and pick Ben up on the way. Is what we were trying to do off camera. Joe has messaged with some laughing faces and then put, "Unfortunately, family commitments must come before football this weekend," with a crying emoji. So that plan has failed.
Oh well. Freddie's going to be disappointed tomorrow. But my bank balance will not be.
Yeah, we'll let you tell Freddie, Ben.
Yeah, no, I'll tell Freddie more. No, it's fine. My bank balance will thank me for that. So, yeah, that's cool. No worries. Cheers anyway, Joe.
Question 2 of 3. The new Champions League format has actually proved to be better than the old traditional Champions League format. Wazza, you went last, so I'll let you go first this time.
100%. Love the new format. I think it's great that they're playing some of the top teams play each other more earlier, and it makes a difference. Because you can normally look at the groups and you just normally go, when it was the first four, with the 4 teams, you would go, well, you're getting 6 points off them because they're the bottom, and it was very predictable. This time, and it showed the last couple of seasons of how close Real Madrid have been and how close Man City were as well to not qualifying. That it shows that they've got to be on it. They've got to be, you know what I mean? You've got to be picking up points. Yeah, it gives you the opportunity that if you do have a couple of bad results, that you'll still be okay. But I think it's a really good thing. I do. I really like the new format. I think it is. Yeah, I like it.
Nick?
Yeah, I think it works. I mean, gone are the days when it was a straight knockout competition, 2-leg. They'll never ever come back because it's all about money and gate receipts and TV. But yeah, I don't take a great deal of interest in any other than if the English teams are in there. I'm not really bothered what I won't see it, Fifey. Yeah, no, I think it works, and like you say, just when it was like 4 teams in a league, you could pretty much predict which 2 are going to go through. I think only recently, I think that Newcastle got the short end of the draw in their league. Was it last season when they were unlucky with the teams that were in it? But yeah, I think it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. Woody?
Yeah, with Wazza, I think also that it gives a couple of teams from, I guess, smaller nations, lesser nations, an opportunity to cause an upset sometimes, because it will happen in those. You know, you look at who's that team that Spurs have had twice now. They had them in the Europa League. Is it Bodo?
Bodo
Glimt.
Yeah. You know, like a very difficult team to play at home, but if they weren't admitted into the Champions League, we probably never would have known it. Yeah, and I mean, you look at Spurs going in when they lost to PS. I mean, I thought that was a great game, to be honest. I was just pissed off that we lost, but it's Spurs had only lost 1 game and they're 16th in that table. It's just it opens it up so widely. I mean, it really takes someone like, annoyingly again, like an Arsenal who win all of their games to really have anybody that runs away with that. And I like the format. I'm glad that it did carry on from last season, because I think there was always a risk of players or clubs claiming that players were overplayed and all of this kind of stuff. But in the nicest way, you're in an entertainment industry now, not just a football sporting industry. So
I'm led to believe they've agreed to either a 3 or 5 year run of it to get a proper.
Yeah, and I think, like Nick said, I don't see it changing, even if they'll find a way that it has worked over the last 3 to 5 years, you know. And but yeah, I think it gives us those early spectacles. I mean, those who might have watched the Spurs PSG game will know that I mean, for a neutral, I thought that was if it was a neutral, it was a very good game. Arsenal obviously turned around some great performances, and it really, because it's more. There's a more, I guess, more games is the right terminology, but it really does mean that we start to test squads. So sometimes there is going to be an upset, like a Real Madrid will lose to somebody who probably has never played in the Champions League before, you know, and things like that. So yeah, I'm all for it, and I hope it stays.
Ben?
I'm going to be honest, I didn't know the format changed till I watched the table after the Liverpool game. I genuinely, I had no clue, and I don't really know how it works.
Tell me you're an EFL fan without telling me.
They showed the table, and there's like 48 teams in there. They showed like one group and another group. Is it 2 groups of like 12 teams? They play each other twice. How does it work?
So it's 2 groups of about 24, I think. And you play half of the teams once, and then some of them automatically qualify. The middle group go into playoffs. The bottom group drops straight into the Europa League, and then it goes into a big round of knockout games.
How's that fair then? Because you've got to play teams home and away, surely, to make that fair.
No, you only play them once.
Well, surely if like Real Madrid are home to Young Boys. By the way, I'll never take that name seriously. I read like article the other day. Aston Villa fans fight young boys, and you can't help sniggering, can you? So, like, stupid name. But yeah, so like, if Villa are playing young boys at home, and someone else has got Real Madrid away, how's that fair? If they don't play each other home and away.
Well, I think though, Ben, I think that brings it down to the reality of cup football, because the Champions League was the only competition where you did play a team home and away. All the other cup competitions, you only play a team once.
Well, that's true. That's fair enough. To be fair, I'm an old school though. I think Champions League football should be just champions, but
Champions of every league in Europe. That would be interesting. Champions of every league in Europe.
Yeah. But there you go. But yeah, no, I didn't. I don't really watch. That just tells you what my thing is. I don't really watch European football. There's no interest. That they like. I've got as much interest in Champions League football as Man City have in League Two. They know it exists, but not really that arsed. Sorry.
So what we've established is give it a few more years under Holloway, and Nick will be planning his trips to Slavia Bratislava, and Ben will know the full back catalogue of Champions League, Europa League.
If Swindon ever got into it, then I'll be an expert very, very quick. But like at the moment, this doesn't involve Swindon, or I could give it a toss, really.
Chris says, I'm going to predict that both Swindon Town and Swindon Town women beat their respective oppositions 3-0 this weekend.
Shout out to the women.
This coming summer's World Cup is the last of a generation of footballing superstars. And while the social media life that we live has generated many a megastar that will still be playing football, we are now running out of football superstars, and we will not see the likes again. I'm trying to think who's been first. Woody, you can go first this time.
I'm trying to make sure I've understood the question.
So you think the likes of Ronaldo, Messi, Neuer and co will all be retiring at the end of this World Cup cycle? That will be the end of the footballing superstar, and all that's left is the social media superstar.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree. Because I just think the social media is magnified, not necessarily changed, because we can't deny the likes of what's his face, Lamau, players like that coming through are unbelievable. Let's be honest, and like it's just the way that footballers are seen now, that they can be seen on social media, because like Ronaldo's, your Messi's, your Neuer's are kind of the old school kind of Schmeichel, Ronaldinho's and things like that, aren't they? You know, they're just, it's just generation to generation. And I think there will be another crop of players. I guess the alien thing at the moment is the fact that Messi and Ronaldo in particular have lasted so long. In terms of hanging around,
because they started so young.
Yeah, because they were so good so young, and I think that's
like
probably
club 1640 for them, isn't it?
Yeah. So it's like, I think that's probably the main difference. I do think that will happen again at some stage. It might even happen with Lamau. But
and I hate to make this seem like an Arsenal loving. Did anybody see that they had a 13-year-old play in the UEFA Under-19 competition this week?
Did they? Yeah. So. I think as the game gets more technical, which is where a lot of focus is now, we will start to see those kind of wizard technicians will probably come into the play, and it will just recycle its generation as we're getting older. And I mean, admittedly, my focus, similar to Ben's, maybe is a lot more on EFL now. So the grand superstars don't kind of make me go ooh anymore type thing, because I kind of expect it from them now. Whereas the next generation of football fans, like was as Theo and my Amber Rose and that, they've all got Freddie, and they've all got new players that they can start to look to. But they're always being that same ilk. They're being those players that are exciting, that create chances, that score chances. Very rarely. I mean, that was one of the big things about Van Dijk, wasn't it? The fact that he came onto the scene and was able to score goals, pass the ball. And he was one of the first defenders, really, that fell into that ilk that youngsters really liked him as well. So, yeah, I just think we're going to get that with the likes of Lamau. And I couldn't even name others off the top of my head, but I'm sure you got
the Chelsea Chelsea kid. It's Esteban.
Yeah, and you got
Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah,
Esteban.
Who's the one that won the Ballon d'Or? Is it Dembele as well?
Dembele, yeah.
He's not old, is he? So it's kind of, it's just going to be the next generation, and I would love it for any young football fan if they do get another Messi, Ronaldo type argument. I just think it's created so much for the game for us, and with social media blowing up, it's just going to make it even more important now. So yeah, to answer your question, very long-winded, I don't think social media is going to ruin the best footballers in the world just yet.
Okay. Let's go with Ben next.
I think there's a cycle of these. I think we were spoiled with Messi and Ronaldo because I think both of them were two of the greatest players that ever lived. And in their own right, offered something a little bit different to the other. So they had that rivalry. Ronaldo was just perfect in every aspect, but Messi was that little bit magic. He's only small and the ball was stuck to him and he ghosted past players. So, I don't think we'll see the likes of them again, but I think it happens in cycles. I think we don't go that far back. Michael Owen was winning the Ballon d'Or. So, we might have a little bit of a barren spell where we don't see much, and then someone else
Probably says more about what football was like in the year 2000, though, to be fair.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It would come in cycles, straight after, like Marco, we saw like Rivaldo, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Zidane, all those sort of players coming a little bit after that. So I think it'll come in cycles. I love Lamar.
Very much before that.
Well, yeah, actually, you're right.
So
about the same time.
Yeah.
So it's about the same time.
First onto the scene at what, France 98?
Yeah, no, he scored that goal against Argentina, didn't he? Yeah, no, I'll retract that a little bit. Well, it was at a time where Michael Owen could rub shoulders with them and one.
Dan's probably 10 years older than Michael Owen.
Yeah. But anyway, my point, it happens in cycles. You do go for barren spells, and I think Lamar is an unbelievably good player. He was at the last World Cup, he was still doing his school homework and ripping it up. And then the Euros, wasn't it? So I think he has all the hallmarks to be a bit special. I think players were flattered to see. I think the Dave Beckham Award will go to Jude Bellingham. I think he's overrated. I think he's not that good, really. I think he's good, but he's not that good. Yeah, so... Oh, no, I don't think Jude Bellingham's that good. But I think there's some special talent out there.
I can't believe you thought David Beckham was overrated.
I thought David Beckham was... Until, he was supposed to be... If you remember back, after he scored that free kick, he was, up there rubbing shoulders with the good and the best. And then his career sort of... He went around Madrid was decent, but he wasn't at the height everyone he thought he could be. I think he did get Graham back in a second.
Captain his country, he played for a treble-winning Man United and an all-conquering Real Madrid. How much more?
Yeah, but he was supposed to be up there with one of the greatest ever players that ever walked, kicked a football, and it never happened.
I think he was
Dave Beckham was wonderful. Dave Beckham whipping across. Dave Beckham could pick apart.
Anyone else's.
But that was about that. And he ran around a lot, making a few tackles, but that was about it, really. He didn't have any pace. He couldn't take any. He didn't take anyone on.
Ben,
he didn't score nearly as many free kicks as you did. He'd get about 3 or 4 free kicks a season. That's right. Luke Wright, not Luke Wright. Will Wright scores more free kicks a season than Dave Beckham did.
Fuck right off, Ben. Fuck off.
He did. Dave Beckham will score about 5 or 6 free kicks a season. Will Wright will probably score a couple more than that. Honestly, mark my words.
Compare Will Wright to David Beckham in this instance.
Oh yeah, no, Dave Beckham.
Shit I've ever heard in my life.
Will Wright couldn't score that goal against Greece when he bent it in, and we all went mental when that happened. But that was Dave Beckham at his peak. He didn't get better than that.
He scored like 60 goals for Man United.
Yeah, I know. Over a long period of time.
60 games, there's strikers that haven't scored like that.
Yeah,
talking.
Will Wright is
Ben, listen, shut up, Ben.
I mean it. Dave Beckham was overrated. Jude Bellingham was overrated.
No way. Listen,
And Will Wright, Will
Ben,
Wright
shut up
scores
a
more
minute.
free kicks this season than Dave Beckham did on average.
I've never.
I was
honestly,
listening. I saw
Shut him up for a minute.
I saw a podcast today with Joe Cole talking, right? Who was a technically gifted footballer, Joe Cole.
It was
And he
very
said
good.
when he first went into the England squad, he said they were in a massive gymnasium, right? And he said young kids were messing about. Oh, the clock at the end of the gymnasium. Let's see if we can ping it with the ball. So he said they were hitting this thing, getting nowhere near it. He said Beckham comes in, 3 shots. He said the first one from about 30 yards clips it. The second one smashes it. The third one obliterates it. He said just the skill level of that player, you have to be with him to appreciate it. And I think it's typical British English supporters that we don't rate our players. Rooney was the same. He was underrated by a lot of English fans, and you look how good he was.
This is
I like
why
Rooney.
I'll leave it
I
there.
enjoy when I'm quite happy to put this on a public forum. I like when TalkSport do the "Is Harry Kane one of the world's best?" debates, because he's got a goal scoring record to stack up, but because he doesn't win anything, it doesn't count for anything.
See, I think Harry Kane is one of the greatest strikers that he is the greatest strikers we've had, and one of the greatest strikers that's ever played in Europe. But I think Dave Beckham's overrated. I think it's that piece of
I don't know how you come in on this one, was.
What was the question?
Well, the question was originally about footballing superstars are going to be a thing of the past, that it's just going to be social media superstars. But if you want to pick up on David Beckham is overrated, by all means.
The only thing I did agree with what Ben said was that we've been very lucky with Messi and Ronaldo being in the same era. So that was the only thing I agreed from his transfer.
And after that was a load of blah.
Yeah.
I speak sense. People up there agree.
Mike's really doubling down on this.
Yeah, that bit you did speak a bit of sense, Ben. That bit, yeah, all right. But the rest of what you've said about Jude Bellingham and David Beckham is
overrated.
Absolute
overrated.
I'm sorry.
You wait. Next, when the World Cup starts, we'll be turning up Jude Bellingham, and honestly, he'll be on the bench most of the time.
I can't have it.
I'll remind you all this conversation.
Solly is better than Beckham because he has a YouTube channel.
Fifey, one thing. Did I read it right that Ronaldo, when he got sent off the other week?
Yeah, they suspended him.
How the hell can that happen?
Ridiculous.
Because FIFA want Ronaldo playing at the World Cup, the EFL don't care whether Drinnan plays against Grimsby.
But that
Ronaldo, fucking Trump, and the UEFA FIFA president all met up at the White House, by the way, recently.
But I mean, that is criminal.
It's because they felt sorry for him because the Irish hammering he got when he was walking off the pitch.
And yet it's still only the second most stupid thing I've heard this week, behind Ben saying Beckham is overrated.
He was so amazing at Man United. Did really well at Real Madrid.
He won the league in Italy. He won the league in France, and he won the league in Spain, and in obviously in
America.
England.
Yeah, he's very lucky with his teammates. He played with Zidane, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, Raul.
Fuck me. What was the global superstar? Is it a thing of the past?
Yeah, because I think when you look at the roots of everything now, some of these youngsters that are coming through, like I think there is potential for them to be a lot, like for players to be up there. That it's just, do they? The thing with the social media side of it all now is that it does put an awful lot of pressure of them early, doesn't it? And some of them crack, and some of them just don't embrace it, and some of them, they don't appreciate sometimes the way of being a professional footballer and the privilege that you should have by doing it. Whereas I feel the likes of Messi and Ronaldo have proper appreciated it and shown what it's all about. You know, I mean, as much as I wasn't a big fan of Argentina, watching Lionel Messi win the World Cup was pretty special, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? You feel like he definitely deserved that. So when you look at it now, I just think some of the youngsters, but there is some real promising players. Like the lad, someone mentioned it in the chat, the lad that played for Bayern Munich in the week, 17 years of age, very, very good. There's going to be, but it's still so early. Like I love Jude Bellingham, I really do, and I know Ben won't agree. But it is still quite early for him, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So we've got to see what happens, and the proof will be in the pudding. And the thing with it now, it's based on how much you win, isn't it? Like you look at the likes of Ronaldo, what they've won, the likes of Messi, what he's won, and that's how it sort of transpires. If you can win big competitions, win leagues, win trophies, win Ballon d'Ors, that's how you get rated. So I don't know.
The thing with that. Oh, sorry, Woody, go on.
I was going to say it actually got to the stage where the only separator we could realistically have in the Messi versus Ronaldo argument was when Messi won the World Cup.
Yeah.
Or when Argentina, because that it was, I think if any real football fan, whether you prefer Messi or whether you prefer Ronaldo, probably found it quite hard to separate the two. But then obviously Messi did win the World Cup. Well, not on his own, obviously, but he was a massive, even in that World Cup, he was a massive part of Argentina. And I think even I've always been Team Ronaldo, I've loved Cristiano Ronaldo for everything he's done. But now I could probably sit there and accept an argument to say that Messi might have been better than Ronaldo because of what Messi was able to do in arguably not a very strong Argentina side at the time. He wasn't in the strongest Argentina side.
So to paraphrase Ben, has he just been lucky with his teammates?
Well, no, because Argentina was shit.
Which the guys picking up on here, Beckham would have been nothing without Gary Neville, and Pete responded with Bobby Charlton would have been nothing without Nobby Stiles.
Well, Gary Neville's
that last point is really, really good because the best players don't make the best team. And that's why when we had the golden generation of England, that's why they didn't win anything, because they weren't a team. Now, England have actually got a team, and the best so-called best players aren't necessarily going to be in the starting 11. So I think that's a massive difference, and that gives us a hell of a chance going forward.
Pete Gerrard and Lampard would get nowhere near the current England team, would they?
Sorry?
Sure. Pete Gerrard and Lampard would never get anywhere near this England team.
No, not with Henderson in the way.
Gerrard better than much better all rounded.
This has turned into an absolutely chaotic ending, but I love it, and this is why we
Fifey, can I just add one point to it?
Please.
With the superstars, I don't think players coming through now will last as long as Messi and Ronaldo. I think they're likely to go out of the game quicker than those two.
What is that comment from my brother?
So for the benefit of anyone listening back, this is the perfect way to end this. Alfie's popped up with, but you could say that about anyone. Ronaldo would be nothing if his dad didn't put his thing into his mum.
What is my brother? Sorry, guys.
Listen, guys, this has been a laugh. I've loved it. Thank you to everyone that's watched along. For everyone who's been playing along, I will let you know as soon as I hear that the baby's been born, so we can see who got closest with their predictions. And me and Woz will see some of you in Chesterfield tomorrow. Travel safe as always. Let's be loud. Let's be proud. Let's get on this winning run ahead of a busy festive period. And let's bring home 3 points for Swindon. And you never know. Not only could we put a 1 in their L column, but we could be sat number 1 at the end of the night. Who knows? We will be back on Monday to do it all again. But until then, have a fantastic weekend, whatever it is you're up to. And we will see you on the other side.
Take my hand, take my